Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I am Walmart Chef Suzanne Clark. If you ever thought it was impossible to make a delicious tasting plant-based burger, well, think again. I have two delicious recipes that I would like to share with you today to make patty melts. I'm also going to have two recipes to make some healthy sides to go along. I am going to be featuring Impossible Foods Burger today. If you are not familiar with Impossible Foods, they started to make the largest possible and positive impact on the planet. A healthy balance of nature, science, and of course, lots of deliciousness. Their burgers contain protein from soy and from potatoes, which I think is kind of interesting. This is not like any other plant-based burger out there. So if you've tried others in the past, you've got to give this a try because it's so different. I mean, look at this right here. You can see it looks like a traditional hamburger, yet it's plant-based. Now today I went ahead and made my patties, and I like using this loose type of burger product so I can form my own patties. I made it approximately the same size as the bread I'm going to use. Now in the pan you can see I have a burger cooking away, and I really wanted to show you how it looks and acts like traditional burger. Look at that. The color resembles a traditional hamburger, yet again, like I said, this is a plant-based product. You can use this just like you would use any other hamburger. You can make spaghetti sauce with it. You can make burgers like I am today. You can make anything like for instance, meatballs or maybe even a meatloaf would be delicious with this. So I have this burger grilling away in my grill pan. I could put this in my outdoor grill if I wanted to. But when I made these patties, I added a little bit of Great Value steak sauce to kind of amp up the flavor a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to season them a little bit. I did season the first side a little before you came, but now I'm going to use this Texas style barbecue shaker. I love this because it's so convenient to use, but that's going to give my burgers a lot of flavor. So now that you saw how to make those patties, let's assemble our patty melt. So I have another grill pan here, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this on my heat. Now, like I say, we're going to do two burgers today, and I'm going to start off with my steakhouse burger, or my patty melt. I'm going to go ahead and put my bread, and I'm going to use some brioche bread today. If you're not familiar with market side brioche, you're really missing out. It makes any sandwich fantastic. It makes this burger delicious. It also is great for French toast if you like to do that. So I went ahead and put two slices of cheddar cheese, which is a little different for a patty melt, and I put my Impossible burger on top of that. Now we need to add onions because that's the next important component of a patty melt. So we are going to make two different kinds of onions today, and we're always going to just start off with sliced onions in a pan, and I added a little bit of oil to this. Now, to make grilled onions, we want to put this pan over high heat. We're going to cook them for 4 to 5 minutes, and we're going to get these beautiful onions like this, a little brown around the edges and soft and easy to eat. Now, if we were to put them on low temperature, we're going to caramelize our onions. And as you can see, they get so nice and sweet and sticky. The same thing, just onions in a pan with a little bit of oil, but now we're going to cook them at a low temperature for 30 minutes. It's well worth the wait. A fantastic topping for steak or grilled chicken as well. So now we have our little patty. Let's go ahead and make that topping. I am going to get out my pan. I had cooked some sliced mushrooms before you came here, and I'm going to add my grilled onions right to that pan, and I'm going to go ahead and add some more of that delicious Great Value steak sauce. I'm just going to go ahead and pour that right here in the pan. You can see that butter is bubbling around in that pan, making that nice and golden brown. Patty melt is kind of like a grilled cheese meets a burger. Has all the great elements. So now I'm going to put my onions and my mushrooms on top. I'm going to add 2 more slices of cheese, because who doesn't love cheese? And a second slice of that brioche bread. So we got that one going. Let's go ahead and I'm going to move this over just a bit and let's make our next patty melt. Okay. Things are smelling good in here with all this delicious cooking. I'm going to start with some rye bread, which is a traditional thing, once again, on a patty melt. But I'm going to also do a lot of different things here with vegetables to show that you can make an all vegetable, an all plant-based sandwich, and it's delicious tasting. So I buttered my bread with a plant-based spread. I put that in there. Next, I'm going to add 2 slices of cheese. Now, I'm using plant-based cheese today, but you can use any cheese that you'd like to. This actually does melt quite well. So I'm going to take my patty that I cooked earlier, and I'm going to place it on my cheese. And then I have my caramelized onions, and I'm just going to spread those on top. I like a lot of these, so I'm going to be quite generous with that. Next, I want to add some vegetables. I am going to go ahead and add some beautiful vine-ripe tomatoes, some avocado to add some more nutrition and some creaminess, and 2 more slices of cheese. Now, it's important to always put that cheese right next to that bread so it cooks nice. And there you go. We have 2 delicious patty melts going. And I'm just going to move this aside because we want to make our sides. We want to come up with something delicious to serve with these patty melt burgers. And we are going to stay on that same road of healthy and create a healthy side dish. Now, my first side dish I'm going to make, I'm going to be kind of working on a very popular trend right now, which is using pickle juice. Yep, we are going to actually brine some potatoes in some pickle juice. And I have my Great Value dill spears that we had already eaten all the pickles, and so instead of throwing away that juice, I'm just going to pour it right into this pan, and I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder. Now, what's going to happen is the water and that vinegar in the pickles is going to pull out all that starch and make these extra crispy. So now all I have to do is to bring this pan to a boil, let it cool, and then let these marinate or brine right in that pickle juice for at least 2 hours, or if I want maximum flavor, I can do it overnight. So now you can see I have all my potatoes that have been brined and I patted them dry. I'm just going to drizzle them with a little bit of oil, pop these into the oven at 450 degrees, a hot oven. Make sure you keep all of your fries spaced apart because that's a secret of getting them crispy along with using that brine. And this is what happens. You get these beautiful crisp fries that you could just swear they were deep fried. But you don't have to have any of that guilt because we actually made them in the oven, which I think is fantastic. Now, one other quick little side dish. It's also very kind of fun and trendy right now. I am going to use some rainbow kale. This is the organic kale that you can find. It's a market side brand. It's already cut for you and cleaned. All I have to do is to pour this on a parchment lined baking sheet. I probably would use several because, again, I want all that space around it so they get nice and crispy. Then I'm just going to take the Great Value olive oil spray, and I'm going to lightly spray it. We don't want too much oil because they'll kind of get a little soggy, and we're trying to make these nice and crisp. And then my favorite thing, Sam's Everything Bagel. I love this seasoning. It's so delicious. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on because they're going to shrink up. We can always add some more later if we wish to. And once I put this in a 300-degree oven for about 20 minutes, we're going to have these light and crispy chips that are so delicious. They're even fun to eat while you're watching a movie or something at night. You can eat these and not feel too guilty. So now that we made everything, let's go ahead and look at what the final product looks like and put everything together. Here we have our patty melts that look just so beautiful, so decadent and delicious, and they are even more fancy and even more decadent if we serve them with our side dishes. I love to do the California with the kale chips and the pickle fries with that mushroom and onion steak patty melt. As you see, it is not impossible to make a delicious plant-based burger. I really hope you enjoyed this burger recipe today and you give the Impossible Burgers a try. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Have a great time cooking.